Hi, and welcome in to the Robbie Coker Show. I'm Logan Wright, and with me is head basketball coach Robbie Coker. Great to have you here today, Coach.
Thanks, Logan. Always good to be here, man.
No, everybody probably stayed up late last night and watched the Super Bowl. What did you think of that game?
It's amazing, man. It just shows you the thin line between winning and misery. I'm sure the Falcons, when they wake up this morning, just total devastation. And I'm sure the Patriots haven't went to sleep yet. So it's such a small margin, the difference in winning and misery.
I stayed up all day and I cooked, and then I fell asleep right at the start of the third quarter, and I wasn't asleep for that long. And I fell asleep, and I looked at my dad, and I said, "This game's over. It's 28-3." I woke up, it was 28-28, and I was like, "Nobody woke me up. What happened here?" But I think that pretty much ends the debate at how good Tom Brady is.
No question, him and Bill Belichick. You know, I kid a lot. Bill Belichick is the greatest, obviously, but he does such a great job of managing his roster. It seems like he always gets rid of the guy before he tanks. It seems like he always picks up the guy before he has a breakout year. And then he says, it's one thing, do your job. And down the stretch there, they had to make every single play to have a chance, and they made every single play. Some of the catches were amazing, some of the throws, and then obviously they got Atlanta on the skates, and that defense got tired, a little bit like Alabama's defense. Stayed on the field too long, and Tom Brady's special, no doubt about it.
Well, I was talking with my girlfriend's family before the game, and they asked me how I thought the game was going to go, and I said, Atlanta's really good, and they have great scoring offense, but their defense I didn't think was really up to par. And I was like, you got Tom Brady on the other end. I said Tom Brady's gonna pick them apart. And then it got through, and it's 28-3, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna hear about this, Sunday dinner. But luckily Brady came back and showed why he is the greatest. But we'll go ahead and start talking about some basketball.
Sure.
Just go ahead and tell us about the Pisgah game. Who played well for you? I know Jeffrey put up 15.
Sure, yeah. Pisgah came out very methodical, probably as methodical on offense as they've ever been. Really passing the ball, trying to limit our possessions. It was a low-scoring game. I thought our defense was very locked in. Did a great job defensively. I think we held them to 28% from the field for the game. Just made it tough for them to score. It took us a while to get going between that and their zone. Kind of slowed us down. They did a good job of getting us out of rhythm. But Jeffrey, I think, made 5 threes in the second quarter maybe. He really got going and kind of gave us a little bit of cushion. And then in the third quarter, I think we kind of knocked them out there. We came out with mad energy, put the ball in the basket, which allows us to set up our press, which allows us to speed them up, kind of got the game going the way we want to go. Just a total team win. I thought all of our guys played extremely well. I thought Cade come off the bench that game and had a great game, came out with a lot of energy and attacking. And I thought, Clay Cooper had 6 assists. This group continues to do a good job of making the extra pass, finding the open guy. I thought it was a very good team win for us. Bailey Dukes had a season high with 7 rebounds. Just a methodical, tough, physical, short turn. Area game, because of the snow, we had to back that game up, and obviously it was a high-level girls game. I'm sure you'll get into that on the Heather Powell show. Our guys really enjoyed watching that game, and it was just a big-time win for us to finish off area play the right way and create some momentum for the week. It's a hard week of basketball because everybody's thinking about the area.
Yeah, you don't want to say it doesn't matter, but you're almost getting to the show. So
exactly, postseason obviously is looming, and I thought our guys did a good job of handling this week, and we got it off to a good start by beating Pisgah.
You mentioned Clay coming up with a lot of assists. One thing that Clay Cooper does very well, he's a great defender, but to me, he does a good job of taking smart shots. He's not the tallest guy, and he doesn't take dumb shots inside. He knows where to find the bigger guy, and I think he feeds the post very well as well.
He's a mental basketball player. He does a great job of making the right play. I call him a facilitator. He does a great job of knowing when to drive it, when to pass it, when to run the offense, when to break it off. He's got a great mind for the game. That's why he draws a lot of charges. He anticipates the game really well. You're right. He does a good job of creating angles to feed the post. Just a very heady basketball player, and it shows. And he does a lot of things that coaches, are excited about that don't show on the box score. He does a great job getting the help defense. He does a great job of making that extra pass. Like you said, just a heady basketball player.
Would you say that he's back to 100% yet?
I don't know about that. Clay and I've had some great conversation about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that physically there's anything wrong with Clay Cooper.
Yeah.
He had a good week the week before, and he had a good week this week. So we hope he continues to play well for the Bears.
I know he's another valuable asset. We talked earlier in the season. You have Chance Brules, who continues to create momentum, like you said, one way or another. But if Chance comes in, something's going to happen. You have Bailey Dukes, who I think he's one of the best. I don't want to say bench players, but I mean, try to find someone else at a different school that makes an impact like Bailey Dukes does. It may not even be as far as points. I know he's a great three-point shooter, especially for a post, but I know y'all are happy to have Clay, coming off the bench as well.
Sure. We actually started 3 different lineups this week, and it's so ideal because this summer I told these guys we started a different lineup every game because with our group I thought we can do so many different things. I told nobody get comfortable starting, and then we play 25 games and we have the same lineup for 25 straight games. Just the way it worked out with injuries and whatnot, and we kind of got in that rhythm. So we played 3 different lineups this week. We're going to start, and it's such a silly thing. I think sometimes people get caught up in worrying about who's starting.
As long as everybody's winning,
yeah,
I think it's a big deal.
Sure, we sub usually at the 6-minute mark, the first sub. So you may start, but then you may sit more the first quarter than the guy that didn't start. We put a real premium on minutes and trying to set our defense up a couple of different ways. So for our team, starting's not that big a deal. Obviously for moms and dads, and I know the guys like to hear their name called out. I'm still young enough to remember that. I get that, but it's such a petty thing, really,
yes.
When it relates to the entire game. I think sometimes people
put too much emphasis
well,
on
sure,
it.
they definitely put too much emphasis on it, but I think sometimes people would be more excited about starting and playing less minutes than playing more minutes. You'd think I'd rather play 25 minutes. I think some guys would rather start and play 12 minutes.
Yes.
So we try to keep all that stuff out of our locker room. Don't worry about that. Just play. We're going to start some different lineups, and we're going to have some different lineups on the floor at times. Just do your job. Go back to that Bill Belichick a little bit. When you're on the floor, do your job. Empty the tank, man. Play as hard as you can. Don't save anything. We'll get you a breath, and we'll get you back in the game. Same way with me hollering at them. I do scream a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna put you right back in the game.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Take your coach and get you a cup of water and move on. And for the most part, this group, but has been around me so long, they understand that and they do a good job not letting it bother them.
We were talking a little bit before the show. I think you've been a lot calmer this year as far as earlier.
I got better players.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, no question.
There's not been as much yelling. I don't think I've seen like one technical this year, maybe
That's
two.
Right.
But
one technical. That's right. I didn't get a technical last year, so
I didn't even think you should have got the one you got. But
that's up for debate. But
I remember when you got it, I thought if that guy was reffing half the games my senior year, Coker would have been thrown out.
That's right. That's right. No question. I probably just a little bit of maturity as a coach. You realize, and all that hollering doesn't help as much that you probably thought it did. And like I said, you got good players now. You're not as frustrated because you're not missing as many layups. You're guarding a little better. No hate on you guys. You guys know I love you, but
it's fine. I think y'all's 3-point percentage is better than our 2-point percentage.
Yeah, no doubt. Just no question. You're right. I have calmed down some, and I hope to calm down even more. So we'll see how that goes.
Definitely. We'll move on, to the North Jackson game. Just tell us, who played well for you in this game.
Senior night. Obviously the girls has a big senior-laden group, and our 2 seniors have been really good. Talk about Luke Graham and Dylan Scott. 2 fine young men that represent us in the best way possible. You look at Dylan, obviously, no offense to Luke, but he did leave last year. So there's an asterisk beside his name as far as team wins. But Dylan was a freshman in that group. Was a freshman when I got the job. And to be on 3 straight 20-win seasons, I don't think anybody could have foreseen that coming.
Yeah, probably not.
So give him credit for that. He's been a rock for us. He's played the role we've asked him to play. He does a great job of being a team basketball player. He's a competitor, but he doesn't let his emotions get the best of him much. I'm sure he'd like to start and play more, but he's just always accepted his role. Always been a yes sir, no sir kid, and does a great job. I keep saying that word, but facilitating the offense. He does a really good job passing the basketball, especially against the zone, and makes his free throws, finishes at the rim, and gets hard rebounds. Toughed it out. Went back out for football this year, broke his foot. He's overcome a little bit of adversity. He's been hurt a lot. As a freshman, he broke his foot in basketball, and then he had the elbow injury in baseball. So just a guy that you enjoy being around, a funny guy. I think everybody in the locker room likes Dylan. Just a great job, exactly what high school athletics is all about. And then Luke Graham comes back, and obviously there's some familiarity there because, he grew up here. We all know Luke. He was just gone for about 11 months, and I'm blaming Roger and Ginger for that, by the way. It's not the kid's fault, but that's another argument for another day. But Luke's come back and done a great job. Plays extremely hard. A guy, and we talk a lot, and I don't think he would be offended by this, or I wouldn't say it, but a guy that wears his emotions on his sleeves. You know where you stand with Luke Graham. He goes all out. He constantly toes that line between playing with mad energy and playing crazy, and he's going to step over it sometimes, and he's going to apologize. And I told Luke all the time, look, I mean, it's a thin line, man. You're an 18-year-old kid. Don't worry about it. You play extremely hard. And if you get out of control, I'll tell you. I don't care to tell you that. So, just a great kid. Got a great heart. Really, really special kid as it relates to his heart. Really wants what's best for others. You won't find a better-hearted kid in our school. Really has a servant's heart, and it's been a blessing being back and being around him. So we're tickled to death he's back, and I hope he's had as much fun this year as we have. I think he has. I think he. We hadn't talked about it a lot, but I think he missed the guys. I think he didn't realize how much he was going to miss Plainview. And not a shot or anything at anybody, but just I think he's enjoyed being back. I think you can see it on his face, and both those guys has helped make this thing a magical year, and if they make it a fun to be around this group. So I want to commend them on senior night. Gave them the start, and they rewarded us by getting us in a 6-point hole, obviously.
Definitely.
Only a little bit of kidding there. Odd matchup for us to play that many minutes with those two guys on the floor, And then not just that, but then when we subbed them out, it gave us a weird rotation. We had, we were small, and North Jackson took advantage of it. Jumped on us 2014. We had trouble guarding their best player off the ball. They do a great job of putting pressure on the rim, and I thought our guys did a good job of fighting back, of kind of not panicking, just playing the game. There's no 7-point shot out there. Sometimes when we get behind, I feel like we play panic because we're not used to playing behind. I thought we did a good.
I guess that's a good problem to have if you're going to have a problem.
Well, I guess, but you got to play the game. You can't look at the scoreboard. Every possession counts the same amount. So I thought our guys did a good job of that. Got back in the game. Excuse me. Got back in the game and really had a good second and third quarter. Got us a lead. And then in the fourth quarter, we kind of did a good job of taking great shots, shortening the game, getting back, making them score through our face. Just figured out a way to win the game, an old school, old-fashioned half-court man-to-man on both ends of the floor. Kind of, North Jackson kind of surprised a little bit. They're usually a half-court tryout playing crazy. They came in and played traditional basketball, which is very unlike a Cole Hicks team. I kidded with him after the game about that, but just a good win. I think we shoot. We didn't shoot very good. We shoot 32% from the field and win by 10. So obviously we played good defense. We turned them over. And then we crushed them on the glass. We had 15 offensive rebounds, which was probably the difference in the game.
You mentioned those two seniors, and I don't think you could ask for a better group of seniors. Like you said, D. Scott comes in 321 seasons, and I think that's something to have under your belt. That's something you can talk about for years.
Maybe the only guy since that group in the early '80s.
Yeah.
That group graduated in '80, '81, somewhere in there. I don't know another Plainview team that won 20 in a row for 3 years. So yeah, he should be commended for that for sure.
Definitely, he has such great vision for a post. I love watching him, especially at that high post area. He has such great vision, dealing the ball out because there's so many good shooters. And Luke Graham, such a great athlete, and like you said, energy has never been a problem for Luke. If he's in that game, he's going to give you 100%. It may get him in trouble sometimes, but you never have to worry about him loafing. And I think that's helped out a lot because he lives around the rim.
Sure.
He does a great job offensive rebounding. When you're a team like you guys and you shoot so many threes, I think that's very important, to crash the boards, and he definitely does that while he's in there too. So just congratulations to these two seniors. Excited to see what you guys do for the rest of the season. The season's definitely not over yet. Now we're to where it counts.
Sure.
But, I'm sure you're glad to get this win at North Jackson as well. Coming, so close to the end of the season, and your guys staying focused. But
sure.
We'll move on, to Asbury. Asbury's sort of a basketball school. I know they tried to start up a football program this year, but
I think they're in the works of starting up football. But it's definitely a basketball community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people don't know that that was a junior high forever, and they took extreme pride in their basketball, even when they were a junior high. You can tell by how nice their gym is.
Yes.
How good their concession stand is.
Oh Lord, they had barbecue, loaded baked potatoes, pintos and cornbread.
Potato soup, they have it. And then they take pride in their basketball team, and you can see how they responded for senior night. They gave them a standing ovation. It was a full side. Just a basketball environment, certainly. A good basketball team. I think Coach Pelham told them before the game, if they can win one more game, there'll be 60 games they've won in 3 years. So obviously a successful senior class as well. I think they've got 6 seniors maybe. So they were obviously emotional and ready for the game. A good basketball team. They're 19-7. Their 7 losses are all ranked opponents, I think.
Yeah.
So I think Geraldine, New Hope, us, Gunnersville, maybe Douglas is their 7 losses. So they play a great schedule. They've been through the trials and tribulations. They're seniors. They're mature kids. They've gotten better. Playing them every year, I enjoy playing them because they're going. You know what you're going to get.
Yes.
They're going to play hard man to man. They're going to expose your weaknesses on offense. They're going to draw charges if you don't jump stop. They just do a great job of playing basketball the right way. So it's always good to go play them. And it's a hard environment. I like putting our guys, Coach Pelham's the dean of coaches around here. He's probably been coaching longer than most of us. Patrick Harden may haven't beat it out. I don't know. He's been here a long time, and obviously he gets a friendly whistle in his home gym, and it's a crazy environment. And they're screaming at the bench, and they're saying crazy things to me, and just a good basketball environment. And so we enjoy those games, and it's probably not a great game to end your season on. You probably need to play them the week before maybe, but because of the way things work out, it is what it is. And I just thought it was a great game for us, and I really enjoyed the way we played the game. I thought we did a good job of defending them, especially early. Obviously, the fourth quarter we did a bad job, but we gave up 30 points through 3 quarters, and even though we pressed every possession.
Yes.
So we didn't give up many easy ones. We came out in the third quarter, got going. I think we pushed that thing to 19. It's probably been a long time since they've been down 19 in their own gym. I thought it was an extremely good effort through 3 quarters. Obviously, fourth quarter, we lost a little focus. Really lost a little focus at the end of the third. We gave up a couple easy layups to end the third quarter, got them going a little bit. Next thing you know, you look up, and it's a 10-point game. And, I think we're up 9 with a minute to play, and I think they're going to concede, and we jack a ill-advised 3. They go down and get an and one. Next thing you know, you get a ball game.
Yeah.
So it was really, but it was good for. I wish we wouldn't have created that. I wish we would have run the clock out and won the easy game. But at the same time, it was good for us to have to execute our press break, to have to make our free throws. I think we go 6 or 7 the last 3 possessions from the 3-point line, from the free throw line. So we had to get the ball in. We had to get stops. Probably a good test for us, a good teaching point. Hopefully we learned our lesson about how to finish a game strong. And at the same time, we got some confidence because, if it was a 3-point game with 20 seconds left. I mean, if you miss that free throw, they're getting a shot for the tie. So it was a great effort to get up by 19. And once again, I wish we wouldn't have created that situation. But considering we got ourselves in that situation, I thought we handled it really well. I was really proud of our guys for making their free throws, getting stops and rebounds, and finishing the game.
I was really proud of Cade. Cade, I thought he played extremely well. He played great in the first half, and then there at the end, like you mentioned, he came through for you, and he hit a lot of free throws. And I remember, I can't remember who was throwing the ball in, but he went to throw it in, and it was a bad pass. And it was like a 2-point game.
Cooper.
It probably, poor Clay, but he throws it in, and Cade just goes and gets that ball and really saves it. And I looked at Dylan beside me, and I was like, that is 100% Cade Willingham right there going to get that ball.
It's crazy you say that. We watched film yesterday as a team, and you brought it up, so they're going to get crucified for it. But we had a turnover earlier where Cade doesn't meet the pass. Mm-hmm. And then he learned from his mistake during the game. Sometimes it takes you don't have to watch film to learn it. He learned it because that play there, he goes and gets the ball. Like you said, he comes back with 2 hands and attacks the ball. And they had to foul him. He goes down and makes his free throws. He went 4 for 5 down the stretch for us. Had 17. He probably played his best game of the season. Very, very aggressive.
I thought he did a good job of finishing at the rim.
No question. He does a good job driving the ball for us, getting to the cup. He did a good job finishing. Probably his best game of the season, obviously. Caden got back going, shooting the ball. He go from 3? 4 for 6. So, obviously, that's a high percentage for us. Kobe made those 2 in the third quarter.
Yeah, you mentioned he plays great coming out at halftime. Then he comes out and he goes, 2 for 2, bang,
first
bang.
2 possessions. Yeah, stretch that thing from 7 to 13, So, he just does a good job for us. I thought it was a great team win. I can't remember. I don't think Luke played great. Am I wrong about that? I'm sorry, Luke.
At the start of the game, he played really well. He was dominating the post, and he got in a little bit of foul trouble.
Got the charge. Got 2 charges. That's right. You're right. He never found his rhythm in the second half, but we overcame it. It was a good team win. Anytime you go on the road at a ranked opponent and be up 19 and then finish the game off, obviously it's a good win for us to finish the regular season.
I love watching Plainview play Asbury. This is one of those, I see this on schedule and I circle it because, like you said, you know what you're going to get with Asbury. They're a very well-coached team, I think. Sure. I think they play very well, but, not just that, the environment. When you come in Asbury, it's going to be a hostile environment. Is it more fun to coach?
It's obviously more fun when people care.
Yeah.
It's a thin line. I know the administrators are going to be shaking their heads as they listen, but we want our kids and our students and our fans to get involved. But then if they get involved, we want to calm them down. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very thin line, and it's always more and more exciting and more fun to be a part of when it's an exciting environment and when people care. And like I said, they care down there. Those guys behind their bench, they've said some mean things to me in the past. And one of those guys told me before the game, he just come up and shook my hand. They're good sports, man. I enjoy it. I do. He said, Coach, we've been waiting for this one. I said, well, I have been too. I told my guys, we're bringing our A game. You guys better bring your A game. And I think they've got a little soft down there at Asbury. Or maybe I've gotten older and I can't hear as well. But they didn't attack me verbally as much as they have in the past. A lot of that has to do with our guys being up 19 probably. But just a fun environment. They know their basketball. They say things and it's intelligent stuff. They get basketball.
Yes.
So. It's fun. It is. It's fun to play in those games, and we do always look forward to going down there, and I think they look forward to having us. Coach Petal's been good to me. He's an old Jack State guy, so we've kind of bonded. I've known Coach for a long time, and he called me after the game. I don't talk to a lot of guys after the game, but what do you think? What's our strengths and weaknesses? Here's what I think about your team. It's always good playing them. I really appreciate his input, and we wish them well going forward. Every team we played in the regular season, we enjoy playing good teams, and we hope that they have a great postseason and represent this area well.
Definitely. You guys finished at 25-4, correct?
Yes, sir. That's right.
All right. Do you feel this has been a successful season? Because I feel like you never stay the same. You move forward, or you
Sure.
go backwards.
I think it's been a very successful regular season, obviously. You know, it's a thin line because, you know, we play for postseason. This is really all practice for the next couple of weeks. But at the same time, there's so many good moments and great games that you don't just want to say, well, you know, we're playing for postseason because you kind of devalue the regular season. And, you know, we've had a lot of fun.
I mean, you guys start off beating Hoover, so.
Sure. I mean, you know, I think it's a successful regular season because it has prepared us for postseason. We played a lot of different styles, a lot of quality teams. We've had to come from behind. We've had to hold them to leads. We've had to slow it down. We've had to speed it up. I think we are well prepared for postseason. I thought we met the challenges. I think if you'd said, "Hey, coach, you're going to be 25-4 after the regular season," looking at that schedule on the front end, I think everybody would have said, "Wow." You know, I didn't see us winning 25 games. So obviously, you know, it's been a successful regular season. But basketball is a tournament sport.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's about surviving and advancing. It's about the 7-game tournament that's about to start tomorrow night. So win or lose, you're right. We've had a successful season. So nobody can take away the great regular season we had. But I think that this group has set lofty goals, and I think we've had an eye toward postseason since we lost to New Hope last year. You know, I think we got down there and we tasted success. We realized how close we were, and I think this group really wants to achieve something special, and are going to chase it to the best of their abilities.
And we were talking about it earlier. It doesn't really matter, just something the old men at the coffee shop can talk about. But I think the record for most wins is 27.
Yeah, last year I think we set the record was at 27-5. I think.
But I think you can take this team and any of the teams that have had the record in the past, put that team, and then look at the level of competition that this year has had to play against. You guys, Guntersville twice. Who else? Madison Academy, Hoover.
I mean our 4 losses. Hoover is second in 7A. We beat, but our 4 losses are Madison Academy, who's second in 4A, Guntersville, who's 5 in 5A, twice, and then Geraldine, who's 7 or 8, 9, somewhere in 3A. So obviously, we played a very good schedule and played some quality opponents. You can't, like you said, it's about old men at the coffee shop comparing teams, but. The game's changed so much, you can't really compare all that stuff. All we can focus on is being the best we can be. You talk about Luke Graham and Dylan Scott as seniors. Jake and Will did a great job last year.
Especially at Jacksonville.
Yeah, leading this team. Our second-year team, we were a senior. It's really the only time we've had a senior-laden bunch. We had 6 seniors that year, and they kind of knew the deal. They were older. We always kid, they could smoke and drink,
Oh yeah, definitely.
They were held back.
They're bringing alcohol to prom, yeah.
Legally, we kid around, but we make all kind of funny jokes about them. I tell you, we're a older group, and then your senior, the first group, you were the only senior. So we've had great senior leadership throughout. All kidding aside, and I think that's what makes it special. I said a lot of those guys come back to games. We've built a program that we're proud of, and these guys understand the level of commitment and the standard that's been set. And I think they also understand that going forward is going to determine their legacy. And I think we're really looking forward to postseason basketball and seeing how good we can be and chasing the dream.
I think you definitely said it best. You've built a program that this town can be proud of, and I think that shows. Like you said, seniors coming back, but not just that. The bleachers are full again, and that wasn't the case when I was coming up in high school.